Wow, it's already been 3 years since Produce 101 Season 1 has premiered back in April 2016. And what a good time to reminisce about that season. The season that started the whole Produce 101 craze that we know today. When Produce 101 Season 1 ended, there was 11 girls chosen from 101 trainees that would form the group called IOI. This group would be a new experimental group, a temporary group that would only last for 1 year. And then the 11 girls would all go their separate ways. So while each of the 101 contestants that participated in the show had varying levels of success, there were 4 girls that really stood out to me, that really took their careers to a whole new level after the show. And these girls would be Chungha, Jeon Soyeon, Sejong, and Kyulkyung. So we're gonna break down some of the smart moves that these 4 did during Produce 101's show and why they're so successful. Now, Produce 101 is a major step to one's career for anyone really participating on the show. Even if you don't make the final cut to forming a new group, just the exposure of the show alone will just give a leg up towards one's K-pop career. The show was highly produced, had one of the biggest budgets in Korean TV history, and it attracted a lot of eyeballs, both in Korea as well as internationally. And of course, when the show ended and it created a group called IOI, the group was instantly popular. In fact, it was so popular during their 2016 run that it actually competed toe-to-toe with another group that you may have heard of called Twice and their hit song, TT. And it just shows just how powerful the Produce 101 brand is. So which begs the next question, what is successful? I mentioned that those 4 members that stood out to me at least and were wildly successful after Produce 101, but what does that mean? To most K-pop fans, successful means the most revenue that a K-pop idol has made. And you know what? I can't fault K-pop fans for this because revenue equals money, and that's what K-pop idols are in the business of doing. They are there to make money and entertain fans. But I have a different take. I would put making profit or revenue as the number 2 thing that makes an idol successful. The number 1 factor that makes a K-pop idol or group successful, in my mind at least, is the household name test, or is the idol a household name? For instance, if you can go up to a casual K-pop fan or a non-K-pop fan in the middle of the streets and ask them, do you know this group or this singer? And most of them say yes, then yeah, they are a household name. And it really means that if the idol is transcendent and goes past the hardcore K-pop fans, if they're really that known. As for how these idols can be successful, it could be many things. The most common one being music, such as Chungha, who's known to be one of the most successful solo acts in recent years, or it could be other things such as acting, or having a lot of advertisements and being shown everywhere in Seoul, or lending your voice to a lot of drama OSTs. Whatever it is, if a lot of casual and everyday people know you, you're pretty much successful. So with those criteria in mind, here's why I picked these 4 singers. First is Kim Chungha, and to many, she's considered perhaps the most successful Produce 101 Season 1 alumni to date. So she would first be introduced to the K-pop dog-eat-dog world during her Produce 101 auditions. And she was under the scornful eye of Bae-yoon. And if you watch the show, she's a really strict dance instructor. She just gives no 2 craps about calling you out and saying if you're doing horrible, right? She doesn't really spare feelings. So when Bae-yoon asked Chungha, what's your specialty? Chungha said dancing.
청하 양은 주특기가 뭐예요?
전 댄스예요.
A lot of people were just stunned by her shy girl to diva-like transformation in mere seconds. And that dance edition would pretty much mark her ascension on the show. So she would eventually end up being 4th place during the final run, and yes, making it to the group IOI. So now fast forward to January 2017, and IOI is breaking up. But rather than go into a group, Chungha actually decides to go solo. And this is actually considered a risk, because until now, Chungha's resume is quite bare, and she's only been on IOI. So people were kind of skeptical at first whether she'd work out as a solo artist. But boy, did that skepticism go away fast as the Korean public soon embraced Chungha. Her girl crush concept, her Korean and American upbringing, and just her confidence and dance moves just instantly made her a solo hit. With a slew of collaborations, singles such as Roller Coaster and Loving You, her gamble to go solo would pay dividends, as her songs would soon shoot up the charts. Chungha would be known as one of the recent breakout solo artists in recent years in K-pop. And she's so successful that she's now known to many more for her solo career than her IOI roots. The next successful P101 contestant, in my mind, is Jeon Soyeon, and she actually finished outside the Golden 11, aka IOI. She would actually finish 20th, which is really respectable. The range between 11th place or the last slot for IOI and say 20th, where Soyeon actually ended up, was really small. That's how crazy the competition was in the final weeks. So after Produce 101, Soyeon would actually go on the show on Pretty Rap Star 3 and make it to the semifinals, just highlighting her great rapping skills. And with 2 very strong showings in 2 TV programs, Produce 101 and on Pretty Rap Star, she would go solo with Solo and Idol Song. But eventually, she would leave her solo career to join the group GIDLE. And her new group would release the song Batata. At the time of this recording, has around 108 million views, making it one of the most viewed K-pop videos of 2018. GIDLE's next song, Han, would have 86 million, and their February 2019 hit, Señorita, would hit over 21 million views in just a month, which shows that Jeon Soyeon will be here to stay for the foreseeable future. As for our third person, Kim Sejong, she's actually successful for being this triple threat in singing, acting, and advertising. So Sejong actually placed second, just under Jeon Somi, and she would join the group Gugudan, as well as, of course, be part of IOI for a year. She would hit it big on her own with her solo song Flower Way featuring Zico in 2016. Then the following year in 2017, she would pivot and get the lead acting role in the teen drama School 2017. Then a year later in 2018, she would lend her voice to Korean drama OSTs in the popular drama Mr. Sunshine, which was a huge hit. But to many people, I would say that Sejong is known for her CFs, or commercial films, or known in the West as TV commercials. And my fourth pick is the Chinese K-pop singer Kyulkyung, who placed number 6 and of course was part of IOI. In fact, out of all the Pledis girls that joined Produce 101, only Kyulkyung and her fellow Pledis team member Im Na-young were the ones to make the final cut. In Korea, Kyulkyung is best known for being part of the group Pristine, but in China, it's a whole new different story. Basically, she's killing it in China. She would be the dance mentor in the Chinese survival TV show, Idol Producer. She would make her solo Chinese singing debut with the song Why, and she would make her acting debut in the drama Miss Truth. As the case with many Chinese idols, first becoming popular in Korea, then going back to China, this trend has been going on for a while. And you have to look no further than EXO with Tao, Luhan, and Chris, who were all part of mega group EXO at one point, then went back to China and actually became even more popular there. Hong Kong turned GOT7 singer Jackson would also put the spotlight on Chinese singers. And Kyulkyung is one of the latest Chinese K-pop turned C-pop singers that would make it big in her native country. And I would say Produce 101 China was heavily influenced on Chinese K-pop stars making it big and returning back to China, as Produce 101 China had some staggering numbers. They had over 500 million people watch the show in China and 1.25 billion interactions on Weibo. Oh my god, that is insane. Kyulkyung is just the latest Chinese K-pop star that made her name in Korea and coming back to her home country to find newfound fame. Now, with those highly successful alumni out of the way, let me mention some special mentions, and that would be Taeha. And Taeha would place 50th on the show, which isn't really sniffing the top 10 to 15%, but the reason why I mention her name is because she soon joined the group Momoland, who's been killing it. It doesn't mean the end-all be-all if you don't rank in the, say, top 20 to 25 on the show. Singers can still make some success if they rank outside that top 25 circle. And with Taeha, she did. So good for her and good for Momoland. Next is the What If, and one of my favorite Produce 101 singers was the Hong Kong singer Ning Shikai. And yeah, she placed outside the top 11. She was actually 23, which is very respectable. After the show, she moved back to Hong Kong and went solo, but unfortunately, she didn't get as much recognition on the show as I felt she should have. I've always wondered, what if she actually made the top 11? And of course, some of you guys might be asking, what happened to Somi? And that's a good question, because she was the #1 ranked girl on Produce 101 when the season ended. What did she do after Produce 101 and IOI? And the answer to that is that she's done some stuff, from advertisements to appearing on TV shows with her family and some singing collaborations here and there. But truthfully, Not a whole lot. There was a lot of expectation for the #1 ranked girl on the first season of Produce 101. I mean, she came under the JYP label, she had a Korean-Canadian upbringing, so she spoke both English and Korean fluently. Everything was there for Somi to just succeed and succeed on a massive level, but just hasn't happened. And in fact, she was supposed to be in the new JYP group, ITZY, but that didn't happen either. And she actually left JYP Entertainment shortly after and joined a new label, the Black label. Now, the good news with Somi is that she still has a legion of fans from her Produce 101 and IOI days. So knowing that alone, she has some staying power. But we'll see what happens when she debuts with the Black label 2019. So wrapping it up, Produce 101 is one of the most popular and powerful shows in K-pop today. 4 girls, Chungha, Jeon Soyeon, Kim Sejong, and Kyulkyung exploded their careers after the show. But there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from Produce 101 that I didn't go through in this video because it would be too long and it's really a separate topic. So maybe I'll talk about those lessons in a later future video. But for now, with Produce 101 season 4 underway, we're gonna see a new slew of K-pop talent coming to K-pop. So guys, what do you think about this video? The 4 singers that are highly successful after Produce 101. Do you agree with my picks? Do you disagree with my picks? Or did you learn something new? Whatever the case, I'd love to know your opinions in the comments below. And you guys know the drill. If you guys want real talk on K-pop and K-pop journalism, then please sign up for my email list and grab that free ebook and learning more about K-pop in depth. And with that being said, I'm off to watch a new K-pop music video, but I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.